Okay, I hope everyone's doing well. Now, in this video, we're going to cover a couple of leaks. Now, I've been pushing my account pretty far. Just a little update, I'm at 41. In Tower, I'm number 3 in the server. Been pushing Tower pretty hard, but I could definitely get to number 1. I'm just like, it's 1 a.m. I'm a bit tired now. So it's going well. And one thing I'm realizing is there's certain colors that are kind of lacking. And I definitely think we could kind of assume some of the colors of the leaks. So there's 3 characters in specific that kind of have, well, animations and leaks, a bit of both. And we're going to discuss them. We're looking at one right now. Yes, Soi Phone has some animations that we could check. There's also ULQUIORRA and there is Kenpachi. So we're going to start with the actual leaks. Kenpachi was kind of shown by the devs themselves. But yeah, I would definitely say that we're looking pretty good. I mean, if we get these units sooner rather than later, that is good. Now, we also have some other units that we're going to talk about. So let's just head into this. This is in the server. You have to get access to the leaks just by like asking to show me leaks. Then you're going to get the leaks and the leak discussion. So there you go. So if you don't want to see this, well, I mean, click off the video. So first of all, since we're on Soi Phone, we're going to check her out. Now, it's a bit low quality for sure. I think we could all agree with that. Now, just disclaimer, gonna read this. This footage is years old and will be different when these units release. Anything and everything is subject to change. Just because we have their assets does not mean they will be in game soon. However, I could definitely say like within the first 6 months, you could definitely expect these units. So, you know, just always like have in the back of your mind, this unit that I really like might come. So, Soi Phone using her Soi, I mean, like, I'm fine with this. I think I really like Soi Phones. I do enjoy NAD units. And is there audio? There is audio. Let me set this up. All right, so let's start that again. I do like the colors. Like, definitely you could see maybe it's definitely a bit old, but I'd say that Soi Phones honestly do look pretty good. This one is the one I like. Like, that animation actually looks really sick. And I think she does one last attack. So yeah, dude, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I see colors and I'm like, yeah, this is nice. I feel like that animation is the exact same, but I'm like, I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. So yeah, Soi Phone is one of the characters. I definitely say this is good. My personal guess for Soi Phone is they're gonna want you to use her with Yoruichi. I think it makes sense. There's also like not much logic because technically, you know, if we're going by that logic, wouldn't they have wanted Kaname and Sajin together, right? So it's like, it's a bit odd. And then Nemu, I mean, maybe like Nemu's gonna be like for Mayuri, right? But I don't know, like there's some things that make sense, some things that don't. So it's very hard to say like what they're really going for. But, you know, I would definitely say for me, I think like there's Strike, and to me that does make sense for Soi Phone, right? Just looking at it, I think considering everything, considering like her moveset, I feel like you could definitely go with Strike for Soi Phone. She could be really good. I would definitely like her more maybe in like a DPS role, but that kind of overlaps with Yoruichi. So if they want us to use Yoruichi and Soi Phone together, I'm fine with her being a support. We do need more supports because right now we're kind of running on Kisuke. And if you're not running Kisuke, you're running Yachiru, right? Like you could run Nemu for like Strike, sorry. But I feel like Yachiru works. Is just most of them are like mono. So I'd rather like another like Kisuke level support. Kisuke has some mono elements, but still, right? Still. So let's go on to obviously the GOAT, ULQUIORRA. And like I said, this is old gameplay, but I think a lot of people found this in March, right? This is when the files were found. So let's go on. I think ULQUIORRAs are pretty nice. Definitely bare bones, but keep in mind they're incomplete, right? Because there's no alts, so they are incomplete. I just want to make sure that's understood. That one definitely is going to have to be improved. That looks so... I like it. I do like that one. And then these are some just normal attacks, which we could definitely tell that these could have a lot of work in them. But I think it does provide a good base as to that move. The aura from this move, man. That's counter into... Bro, fucking he jumps up. And he's like, one hand in pocket. Yeah, let me just strike down. The colors look great. Obviously, he's constantly just one hand in pocket. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care at all. I think this guy is going to either come out for 100 day or half annie. I think either are possible. The only thing is, like, who would he release with if it's half Annie? Because usually, you know, half Annie, it's usually 2 units or multiple. So is it going to be just like an Espada anniversary with like Grimmjow? Or is it like with an Ichigo, which I don't think would happen, because it would probably be Vasto Lorde, right? Because we kind of have Hollow Mask Ichigo. I think, is it this one? Like, there's not really another Ichigo that we could get right now. I don't think so, right? So, yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely uncertain how this is going to look, but I do like it. I think this move is going to be really good. For him, maybe Spirit, right? I'm not too sure how they want to classify these roles. I did see that ULQUIORRA is Slash, so I saw there was some leaks about that. Nothing that I saw personally, but I did see that there was leaks about him being Slash. If he is Slash, just looking at it, right? Since there's already 3 red SSRs, could we filter by SSRs? Sort by rarity? Quality. Yeah, okay. So, if we look at it, right, just looking that there's 3 Slash SSRs, 2 Thrust, 2 Strike, my guess personally is like, they're not really gonna do too many strikes at the moment. Sorry, slashes at the moment, the red. They're gonna focus on other ones, and then in the future, I think that it would make sense at some point, right? We're gonna get so many of other colors that, you know, we could get like an ULQUIORRA. And then also, next unit, Kenpachi, right? So, Kenpachi was shown like in some like video like in March. So obviously I'm just bringing all these videos together. We already knew the existence of it, but I'm sure a lot of you guys don't. So let's talk about it. This is like actually updated in like animations from March, so they could still be worked on. Just want to make sure that's clear. They could still be worked on, but we do have like gameplay regarding Kenpachi. This is definitely a Slash character, I'm like pretty sure. From what I've seen, there was also some things regarding Kenpachi being Slash. So, you know, animations wise, I think he looks really good, if I'm being real. I like his animations. He seems fun. The only thing is, I think that's it. Oh, there is a bit more. There's a bit more. So I think that's like when they're in break. Yeah, that's when they're in break. So, bro, motherfucker went flying. Yeah, to me, I would definitely say what sucks is like, red is so built up that like, it's a bit hard to tell what they're going to do. Only 4 typings is very weird to me. I just, especially because like, there's only 3 slots in a team, right? Like, how are we doing this? How are we doing this? Is there going to be a lot of overlap, or are you going to continuously power creep? I just like, I'm not too sure how they're going to do it when it's like, literally like it's mono, okay, cool. But then there's like only 4 like colors, and then there's 3 units in a team, not 4, which does make a difference. 1 unit difference is pretty big. And Kenny is going to be a main DPS. Ichigo's a main DPS. But I do think like, especially with how Ichigo plays, you could definitely make it that Ichigo is not necessarily a main DPS. And you know, this is going off of the assumption that Kenpachi is in fact Slash, which from what I've seen, I think we could say is a safe assumption right now. But what I mean exactly is, let's just put this down, and I'll put my mouse here just in case we need to reset. But like, you could go for this and immediately go into someone else, and Ichigo is going to continue attacking. So it's very possible, like in the future, maybe like oh, is it because of the mouse? I think so. Maybe in the future, like Kisuke gets taken off the team, right? And instead we have like a Ichigo, Byakuya, Kenpachi team, right? Because when you do this like enhanced attack, you could go into someone else and like always do that, right? So I could see you doing a playstyle where it's like, instead of like Kisuke, maybe he's on another team. What you could do, I don't know why the POV is like that. What you could do is like, you know, go into Byakuya, go into Ichigo, and then like immediately just like attack with Kenny, right? And then like maybe a couple seconds later, you go back into Ichigo, do a string, and then go back into Kenpachi, right? And then afterwards you could go into Byakuya when his shit's done, then go back into Ichigo, get 1 attack string down, go for the skill, get another one, and then go into Kenpachi, right? And just do an attack, right? So maybe like a kind of dual DPS team comp where maybe Kenpachi like does some debuffs also could be interesting. And then Kisuke could like be used on other teams because, you know, obviously like not everyone's going to get every unit. There is that. I'm just saying like a lot of people are going to get a lot of the units, and only 3 team comps is going to make it weird for the colors. But yeah, so this is a Soy Phone art we had, and then this is also an ULQUIORRA art. So Momo is coming with Toshiro, so there is that. But in general, I just wanted to show like the full list of units. So we got ULQUIORRA in the files, Grimmjow is in the files. So I think this is from the second étape. If that's, is it Grimmjow? I forget if it's Grimmjow or ULQUIORRA who always does that, but the primal Grimmjow is has a boundary art. Nell also has a boundary art, which is both of them really nice. I mean, you've seen it in my thumbnails. Soy Phone with the gameplay, Kenpachi, obviously. Aizen is also there, and I've seen rumors about Aizen, so there is that. But, you know, we're going to talk about that a bit more in this video. Now, Gin, obviously, Rengiku, and then Mayuri. Actually, this makes a lot of sense. Mayuri is one of those bosses that, like, you're going to see a lot. And I actually did fight Mayuri in the tower. Forgot which one. Blue? I think it was blue. Yeah, blue. So, you know, you're fighting him. A lot of these units that have bosses have units that are like in the files if you look at it, right? Like Kenpachi, Byakuya, Mayuri, right? I mean, you could even add Ururu, Grimmjow, right, is in the files. Not Shinji, unfortunately. So it's like there's a lot of these units that you could definitely say are there. Not all of them. Also, I just thought of it, but like getting a white would be pretty cool. But, you know, just considering all this, right, and if we just go on here, right, like Gin is definitely close to a unit because obviously they have the icons already for them both being thrust, which I think people are very excited about around Gikku. I mean, 900 likes on this is kind of crazy. Okay, it is kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie. And then we have Toshiro, we have Momo, and then also we have, of course, ULQUIORRA, and then I guess Grimmjow. So there's a lot of units, and I do think that it's maybe, in my opinion, I guess a bit worrying how they're going to handle the team meta. That's definitely something that I do think about a bit, just because of the fact that like only 3 units in a team is good. Free to play wise, it's good, but you know, you see 3 units in a team in a game like Wuthering Waves, right? And oh, I didn't mean to press that. And oh, okay, well, what I'm trying to X and Wuthering Waves. The thing is about that is like, okay, 3 units in a team, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 typings, not 4. So that does make a difference. Now, what they could do is something very simple. So right now, like Kisuke also does have some slash effects where it's like only for, I forget where it is, but there's like some parts that are kind of for the full team. I think it's on like his weapon and shit. There's something that has it to where it's only for slash support, but I am kind of like fumbling right now. Just take me for my word on that. And same with Yachiru, there is something for just slash support. So it's like there are a lot of these units, and obviously the what's it called, the tactic units all have like specific support. So like obviously Sajin for slash strike, etc. So I do think it does suck. There's like kind of one unit that's kind of inflexible because of the fact of field effects being so strong. So I wonder if there's ever going to be moments where you're even going to not run a field effect. I just don't see that. So we're going to have to get like more supports that are completely universal. I think that's probably the best way to go at it, because if not, right, we're going to end up in a situation where the teams are going to be too mono and you're just going to keep replacing one unit for the next, and it just won't be that fun in my opinion. So we're going to need to see how this is looking, and I'm still trying to find where this slash support was that I saw, but definitely I'm pretty hyped. I think these units, like what I could see happening is Soy Phone could be like around the release. So I love Soy Phone. She's going to be really fun. Don't really care when she releases in terms of like a big anniversary or like a big celebration. However, I do think that like Ulk and Kenny can both get some pretty interesting releases. So one thing that we could see if we go to the event calendar is this unit ends on the 18th. Now, 2 weeks after the 18th of December is the 1st of January. Now, the 1st of January usually is celebrated for like Japanese gachas for New Year's, right? I mean, just like, for example, like Dokkan does pretty good New Year's celebrations, Dragon Ball Legends. Also, I played JJK. Phantom Parade has pretty big celebration. They had Sukuna last year, the first Sukuna. So it's like, we could expect a lot probably for technically week 6, right? At the end of week 6, we could expect another unit. I'm saying after week 4, so after Toshiro, my guess, I've said this before, is probably going to be Gin. And I do think this does line up once again to being Kenpachi, right? I think Kenpachi could come out. Problem is, if he's Slash, I don't want him to come out. If he's if he's Slash, I don't want him to come out on the 1st of January. I don't think that's a good time frame because we're gonna be four Slash SSRs, 1 blue SSR, 3 yellow, 2 orange. Like, there's just too much of a gap, I think, that we can't get another red rate up. We have to get for either yellow or orange after green again, right? Well, you know, yellow's gonna be fine. So either another blue or orange, right? Build out the teams. And I think that would be more than fine. Now, you know, definitely I would say Kenny could be 100 day. You know, if they really want to, someone like Aizen could easily be 100 day. I mean, we're obviously seeing like murmurs about him, right? Little rumors here and there about Aizen. So there is for sure the possibility of Aizen. I think, you know, Kenpachi is a decent chance, but I think New Year's makes more sense. Maybe New Year's if he's not red. If not, they could just drop Kenny like that. He'd be hype. But New Year's should be probably a decently hype unit in my opinion, because it is still a Japanese gacha, but you know, it is also a Chinese gacha, right? Chinese devs, so hard to tell for that. But you know, I do think where was it? Oh yeah, I was trying to go to here. I do think that like an Aizen would be pretty sweet. We have a lot of arts for Aizen, and like he has like animations and all that in game. They added the Haro 99 for Aizen, so I think it is possible that that does end up happening. It's more so who are we gonna get for 100 day? I think there are the like couple of choices, right? Pretty much Grimmjow, ULQUIORRA, Aizen are like my top 3. But I think Yamamoto and like Shunsui are also pretty up there. Then half year, I think is going to be anything that we don't touch yet, right? Like all these units, I think we could get up to half year anniversary, right? Because this is 2 weeks, a month and a half, 2 months, 2 months and a half, 3 months, 3 months and a half, 4 months, 4 months and a half. But then there's going to be other ones, right? And then there's Toshiro. Well, no, actually, I didn't include it, right? So, like, we're already getting almost a half Annie, and this is only with the ones we have. So, this means very easily, one update, we get 10 more units, and suddenly, oh, we have units up till the 1st anniversary. So, I think we're doing really good in terms of, like, the unit choices, because there's some hype ones. There's, well, they're pretty much all hype. So, my guess is some of them are going to be probably later. I could see most of these before half Annie, but I think Nell is probably after. I think Mayuri might be after just because he's a bit less hype. And like maybe they want to space it out more for those unhyper units. But that's my own opinion. Maybe you guys think differently. I think Ulk or Grimmjow will be like, if we get one of these two for 100 day, I do think one of these could be half Annie. But if we don't get one for 100 day, I think one of these are after half Annie, right? I think that's going to be the case. I do think we could get a couple other ones, like a couple other units I think should probably end up happening besides that. The main reason is just because, well, I don't think all the units in the files are going to be used right away. Like I said, this is like a lot of like unconfirmed info, right? These are leaks. So because of that, we have to keep that in mind. But a lot of units already have like arts in game, right? And usually the units with arts, usually if they have something, usually does tend to mean that they are going to get a unit or like they just have a unit. And, you know, going off of this, we do have the 13 court guard squads graphic, right? I think we could get some of these, right? Obviously, like I think the big ones from this would probably be obviously Kenny, Aizen. I think Unohana would sell pretty well. And then obviously Shunsui, Jushu, like actually pretty much all of them. I think if we get like a Jushiro Shunsui for 100 day, I'd be more than happy, right? That would be so sick. I think like going either a Yama, Shunsui, or Jushiro would be sick. But there's so many options that we're in a really good spot. But if any of the units on that list that I mentioned, right, on this list kind of interest you, then maybe always keep a bit of reserves, right? You never know, so always keep a bit of reserves. And we'll keep you guys updated on all the news, Bleach Soul Resonance. I'm really enjoying this game, like a lot. I mean, it's bad. I got this guy A3 because I'm like, oh, well, it's going to give me the icon. And to be fair, this is a really cool icon. Problem is the sword is kind of covering his face a bit, but I digress. And, you know, the gacha is so cheap that it's like you're going to be able to guarantee 1 every 2 units, right? That's something I think is pretty important for people to understand, is that, I mean, I'm just going to open this. We don't need to play it. But 1 every 2 units, you're going to be able to guarantee, essentially, right? Like, If we're getting 200 limited pulls month 1, probably afterwards you could expect about 100 every month, 100, 110. Which means you have probably just enough, unless you have to hard pity everything, to get 1 unit a month. 1 unit a month, 1 every 2 units, I think is fine. So always keep some reserves, which is why I'm pushing so hard for you guys to reroll. Because if you get the unit first multi, you're gonna have so much currency left over for if you want Toshiro and other units afterwards. But yeah, there's so many time slots. I think New Year's 100 day half Annie could be like Aizen, ULQUIORRA, Grimmjow, right? Those are like the big 3 in my opinion. Besides that, obviously, I would say that like if we get a Shunsui Jushiro, Yama, those are always possibilities. Those could be either, and they could be anything. To me, they could be anything. They're really hyped for me. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video. I'm just trying to, have a little bit of a yap fest at the end of this video. It's a leaks video, so, nothing too concrete, which is why I'm kind of all over the place in terms of just ideas popping out left and right. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Have a good rest of your day. Let me know which leak is your most hyped. Bye-bye.